ABC. Golden Knights Hurricanes return to the ice. Game 5 Stanley Cup Final tonight, knotted up at 2 games apiece, 8 Eastern on ABC.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
From local high school sports,
it's good to be joined by our Student Athlete of the Week. Anthony, how's it feel to be a Student Athlete of the Week?
Feels good, man.
To your Fresno State Bulldogs.
Pleasure to always have Coach Entz in the building here. And Coach, how are you doing on this Tuesday night?
Doing good. Doing really good.
When the athletic director of Fresno State drops in here at ESPN Fresno, Garrett, it's good to have you in.
You know, we're just grinding every day, trying to get better. But beautiful weather right now.
And voices from the pros.
On ESPN Fresno with Sean Merriman, Charger linebacker. Great.
Man, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Q Myers joining me now. He's with the Raiders, of course.
Man, I love it. I really do, man.
Rick Neuheisel here with us on ESPN Fresno.
It is a treat to be on ESPN Fresno.
This is your home for all things sports. Hosted by Phil Bonatti, breaking it down, calling it like it is, and taking you behind the game. This is Behind the Bench on ESPN Fresno.
That is right. Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno. It's been a couple days, but good to have you here on a Thursday live from Fashion Furniture. Always on these Thursdays. Appreciate you joining us here on what should be a fantastic afternoon for 3 hours of show today, as we will have some great guests, of course, and oh my goodness, the reactions we will have in what has transpired in sports in the last 24 hours. The day of comebacks is what we call it yesterday, in regards to not just the NBA Finals, but what Giants baseball looked like yesterday. Oh my goodness. Down 9-1, coming back and winning 11-10. You got to be kidding me. And probably the sole reason why we didn't have a show yesterday because of how long that comeback took. But I'm sure Giants fans will gladly take that outside of just a 9-1 finish and us talking about how bad they were for 45 minutes. So we're okay with that. But happy to be here, happy to be alongside you all at Fashion Furniture, of course. We'll let you know what kind of sales they got coming up, of course, here as we are now in the month of June. We have Me and Ed's Pizza to my right, of course, that you can enjoy for the next 3 hours as well when you come hang out here at Fashion Furniture. Big thanks to Tony D for tossing it to us in the previous hour. Tony D Show, Sportsline Bulldog Hour with Tony D from 2 to 3 p.m. on the weekdays. You can check him out there on 1430ESPNFresno.com and on the ESPN Fresno app, and also streaming on 1430 ESPN Fresno YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. We're streaming there now for my Behind the Bench show as well. Also on the website platform, Behind the Bench from 3 to 6. And also Palmetto Show, which is this Saturday is the last Saturday before he's taking his summer vacation. The Central Valley Sports Report live from 10 a.m. to noon on Saturdays from First String Sports, Palmetto's show there as well. So enjoy that and enjoy all the programming that we have. And excited to bring you a great program today, taking up to 6 o'clock and getting you out to Visalia as the Grizzlies and the Rawhide play here on 1430 tonight. I believe pregame starts at 6:15, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll get the details worked out. I believe first pitch at 6:30, but you can listen to it coming up after our show. Tim Slack on the call for Grizzlies baseball tonight against the Rawhide. Who do we have coming up on the show? We have Josiah Freeman, wide receiver of the Fresno State Bulldogs, is joining me. Excited to see him in his final season in college and also for the Fresno State Bulldogs. In the second hour, we will have Fresno State great Lorenzo Neal, who will join me as well. Got a chance to chat with him. And then also in the third hour, we will have the new Fresno City College football coach, Josh Brown. We will hear from him for the first time as he is taking over the helm and replacing Tony Caviglia in that position. So exciting lineup today for the next 3 hours. 3 great guest spots and a lot to dive into. Like I said, 2 days of nothing in terms of reaction because we've been off. So I'm excited to get to it now. Heads up here at Fashion Furniture, of course, they got the red, white, and blue sale. You can save up to 25% store-wide with zero interest financing for 36 months. You can take 25% off of occasional home office, or how about entertainment wall units? What about dining room and bedroom? How about 20% off of upholstery categories, 20% off of outdoor furniture as well. No interest financing for 36 months, 36 equal monthly payments required, down payment of $99.99 minimum purchase required, and save 50% off in stock only kids furniture and youth furniture while supplies last. Take advantage of the red, white, and blue sale celebrating America 250 here at Fashion Furniture. Nothing like it in all of California. Lee's Air Hotline is 559-320-1430. The way to reach our show as well. Lee's Air Plumbing, Heating, and Roofing sponsoring our Lee's Air Hotline, 559-320-1430. Lee's Air Weather Check. I was out there for a while today, so I know it's a warm one. 98 degrees here in the Central Valley. Could touch 100 maybe in the next hour, but 98 at the moment. We, of course, will feel those 100-degree temperatures. Seems like for a while, folks. Next 6 or 7 days or so coming up before maybe we see a dip next weekend. So grit your teeth and bear through it, man. It's summer here in the Central Valley. 104 potentially the next couple of days after that. So, stay hydrated, folks, as I like to say. Maybe a good deal to just go inside and enjoy U.S. soccer tomorrow at 6 p.m. Anyways, it's exciting to dive into it. I think I've done all the house dressing here at the beginning. I got Daniel here, of course, next to my right for the next hour and a half as he's chilling and he's riding high. We'll get into that Mexico game in a little bit, but how are you feeling on this Thursday?
We're doing great. Very happy. Very excited for what happened today, for what's to come. A bit atrocious, as I'd like to say.
Yeah,
I hate the heat.
I think the sun got me, probably, most likely. I'm
looking like a shrimp.
I'm feeling it. It's gonna be great, though. It makes me feel alive. Jorge is back in the studio. Jorge, how are we doing on this Thursday?
Feeling good. I think it's a good day.
Yeah.
A lot of sports happening.
Oh my gosh, so Jorge, I'm pretty sure you got like a good vertical off your chair yesterday from the Giants winning yesterday. I've never heard you scream louder at the station than that.
Yeah, I mean, I told you we were coming back, and you didn't believe me, so that was your fault.
Yeah, I said, what if the Giants do come back? That's what I said.
I told you this is how we come back. This is how we come back.
This is how we come back.
You didn't believe me when we scored.
What are you talking about? I didn't believe you. I was I was ready for the chaos of it, man. I was joking like, what we might not have a show if the Giants score 7 or 8 runs here, and here they go. They get 5 in the bottom of the 8th, and they get 5 in the bottom of the 9th, and they make it happen, man. It was an insane game yesterday, and it only was a precursor to what was sports insanity. Yesterday, I posed the question because we had both games on 14:30 yesterday. Which game was a crazier comeback? Was it the Giants coming back to win down 9-1 and winning 11-10, or was it the NBA Finals, the largest NBA Finals comeback in NBA Finals history with the Knicks beating out the Spurs by a point last night? Daniel, what? I'll go to you first. What was the bigger comeback?
I think just because of the meaning of both games, it has to be the finals with the Knicks coming back. Granted, that was the only game I watched yesterday, but just what it means more to come back in an NBA Finals, to take a 3-1 series lead than, a regular season game in a season that, you've done very poorly in, but a win like that for the Giants is also very great. Morale's high.
Especially for a young guy like Bryce Eldridge, who becomes the youngest player in Major League Baseball ever to hit a walk-off grand slam. He is younger than when Roberto Clemente did it. That was the last record holder. He ended up doing something earlier than Roberto Clemente. And now for the future of the Giants, of course, having a guy who has confidence in hitting a ball like that out of the ballpark, that's got to feel at least somewhat good for Giants fans to build on the confidence of. And, yeah, it was ridiculous. In the grand scheme of things, yes, you're right. I don't think the Giants have a hope and prayer of making the playoffs. Jorge, what do you feel was the crazier comeback in your mind, the Giants or the Knicks?
I think the harder comeback was the Giants.
Yeah?
Just because of how it happened, and especially in the innings that it happened. It was the 8th inning, and it was still lost,
Right.
They were very similar ways of, like, how the game went. And both games, the Knicks didn't take the lead until the last minutes of the quarter.
Right.
The last quarter, it's exactly how the same thing that happened over here with the Giants. But yeah, I feel like it's more meaning to when you win in the final than when you win in a regular season game. But
I think I want to ask the question because I think we're getting caught up in the meaning of it. But I'm just asking crazier, like in the scheme of things, 9-1 comeback versus a 29-point comeback in the third quarter basketball. Just if you put it in a vacuum, to me, I think I'm leaning more of the baseball.
Yeah, when you put it like
I'm leaning the same way too, because of the way they did it, and then there was more that had to do with the Giants themselves. On the other hand, the Knicks kind of,
you felt it going in opposite direction. You felt the Spurs had to do something here to allow the Knicks to get back into that game, right?
Yeah, and they stopped doing things.
Right.
They stopped making. I don't know why they went for so many threes, and all of a sudden they didn't. They weren't taking advantage of going to the last seconds before they shoot.
Do the math,
leaving
Jorge.
seconds on there.
Do the math, Jorge. Right? You know how many points the Spurs scored in the second half of that game last night? Do you want to guess?
The second half?
How many points did the Spurs score in the second half of that game last night?
The second half, it's got to be like 30-something, right?
It was like 28, right?
It was 30.
Okay.
It was 30. Do the math real quick. 2 points per bucket, 30 points. How many buckets is that? 15 buckets?
15 buckets.
You need to lay the ball in at least 16 times to say you can win that game in the grand scheme of it, right? And you have the tallest bleeping player in all of sport right now, Victor Wembanyama. You can't get 16 layups in a game. That's 8 layups per quarter. You couldn't find 8 dang layups in a quarter? Are you kidding me?
The last 15 seconds of that game was so frustrating to me because the Spurs had everything to win this game.
Right.
Everything. And it seemed like they had a hot potato and didn't want it. It was just getting out away from their hand, and everything. The last 15 seconds was theirs, and they gave up.
Well, De'Aaron Fox, of course, going up with a layup that really shouldn't have been a shot attempt. He should have, run around with it.
If it was in different circumstances.
But credit to the Knicks too. They were hitting hard shots, man. The corner three that Karl Anthony Towns, who was totally dead, had to hit. I thought that was a really important shot that I think a lot of people kind of forgot about in that game. Of course, OG had the couple corner threes. Alvarado hit a big time.
Bronson missed, and the thing is, Bronson missed the one that he should have made.
Yeah,
and should have won the entire.
I don't know if he should have made that one. It was really far. But the OG.
I'm saying like in if it would have been like a scripted game. He would have made that.
That was the one he should have knocked down, right? But it's OG Anunoby, who I honestly feel like deserves to have that kind of shot make with the tip in. I literally audibly screamed, "Oh my God!" in my living room. That was my reaction. I guarantee nobody was quiet when he watched that shot. You saw that game. You had to yell.
I've been losing my voice since last night.
Right. Jorge, did you have like an audible like, oh my, did you say anything? I'm sure you said. Yeah.
Of course I did. Because that wasn't insane. Like the way he hit the ball wasn't even supposed to go in.
Right.
Like he didn't even.
Right.
He just touched it, kind of like just give it a little more momentum.
He just jumped above everybody else, man, and made the play when it needed most. And it's a difference between a 2-2 series and a 3-1 series, and it's remarkable how quick the margins can be in sports. What an awesome day. I don't want to stop dissecting it, of course, but we got to get to other things here in the show, and I'm very excited to bring on our next guest. He's patiently waiting. We're going to have Josiah Freeman here for Fresno State football, so let's bring him on next. We'll take a pause in our conversation and bring on my first guest of the day here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader.
Hey, it's Phil Bonatti with Behind the Bench, and I've got to tell you something I just did to my car, and I wish I'd done it sooner. You know how your car bakes in the Central Valley sun? Feels like an oven. I went to Stereo One Warehouse and got my ceramic windows tinted. Game changer. It keeps the heat out, so my AC doesn't have to work as hard this summer. My car is cooler, more comfortable, and I'm not blasting the AC anymore. So if you're in the Valley, go see Stereo One Warehouse. Call Daryl at 559-836-0949 and tell him Phil sent you.
Whether you're commuting through the week or planning your next summer getaway, Clausen Honda of Fresno has a huge selection of new Hondas, certified pre-owned, and quality used vehicles ready for the road ahead. Enjoy friendly service, competitive financing, and a no-pressure experience built around you. And long after the sale, Clausen Honda's expert service team keeps you moving. Clausen Honda of Fresno has a huge selection of new Hondas on Blackstone, north of Bullard.
It's Phil Bonatti telling you DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Fresno, California. The whole world is watching one tournament right now. Group stage chaos, knockout drama, stoppage time, heartbreak. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in California, so whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in California, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with the code KFIG, spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards. That's code KFIG. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim issued in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends June 28th. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo.
Fight fans, mark your calendars Sunday, June 14th. The UFC Fight Night viewing party starts at 4 p.m. at Chukchansi Gold Resort and Casino. Catch every second of the live pay-per-view on the big screens as Taporia takes on Gaethje for the World Lightweight Championship, plus Pereira versus Gane for the interim heavyweight title. Don't miss a stacked fight card, championship action, and every knockout moment. Live at Chukchansi Gold Resort and Casino, your Fight Night headquarters.
Prices on steel and materials are going up,
right,
but at Pacific Steel Supply, they're still delivering the
Yeah,
best
I got
deals
you.
in
You
the
got you?
industry.
Yeah.
Whether it's residential, commercial, industrial, or ag projects,
So I don't know
Pacific
if you
Steel
know, we're gonna
Supply
be the
will
new
match
station.
or beat any competitor's
Okay.
price
Next
by
year.
an extra
Yeah.
10%.
Okay.
So we're gonna cover the
Quality
game.
steel,
Oh, that's
metal
good.
roofing,
Congrats.
components,
Paul's coming over.
24/7
Yeah.
service,
Oh,
fast delivery,
okay.
and the best
So-
prices.
so
The
we're
time
gonna
to
move
act
from
is
Learfield
now.
West.
Get your free quote
Start
today
July.
from Pacific Steel Supply in
Big
Fresno,
time.
Ashland,
Keep it
and
local.
Parkway
Oh, yeah.
off Highway
Got to.
99
No-
or
no
online
big-
at
no big money company
PacificSteelSupply.com.
Yeah.
Take everything.
Hi,
That's all
I'm
we got
Megan
here.
Turner,
That's good.
president of Pink Fresno.
We'll be,
Pink is a woman-led
working with you
nonprofit
guys. I have some
supporting
good
local
ideas.
organizations
Yeah.
right
We'll
here in the
have-
Central
oh, yeah.
Valley.
We'll get some
Each year
liners
we
in
volunteer
and
hundreds of hours
listen
and
to
host
Home
our
of the Bulldog,
annual
all
Pink
that
stuff,
Party,
so
having given
I
back
have a
more
good
than $1
idea
million
what we wanna
to
do
date.
here.
Join us on June 12th as we raise funds for the Boys and Girls Clubs
Be
of
great.
Fresno County and their Smart
gonna be an
Girls
easy
program,
schedule. Just
supporting and
travel-wise, I'm
empowering
just
young
looking at the
women
schedule.
and
Oh,
our
okay,
community.
yeah.
Together, we
Not
can
easy
make a
to-
lasting
I'm not
impact.
saying that.
Learn more and purchase
Traveling
sponsorships
wise.
at
San Marcos,
pinkfresno.org.
that's it.
That's
I think we gotta go to
PINCFresno.org.
Hawaii.
At Helena Agri Enterprises, we're committed to helping you make the
That
best
trip always
economic
like I
decisions
can't
for
imagine
your
how late
farm.
you guys
That's
get back.
why
It's
we
like
combine cutting
Now we
edge
got back.
technology with
So
superior
we leave right
products.
after the game. We
Helena's
got back
agri-intelligence
in the
program
morning.
uses
Yeah.
in-depth
So we got
analysis
back like
to
9
identify
o'clock.
potential
I went
problems
Hawaii
in the field
Bowl
before they take root, combined with a
14,
complete line of high-quality crop
and we got
production,
back like
crop
morning time in
protection
LA.
inputs.
And we had to
Helena
bus
has
up,
the tools to help
and,
you increase productivity,
I sure
enhance
remember being
performance,
wiped out
and
tired.
maximize
It was like
return on
Christmas Day,
investment.
too.
Contact your local Helena
It's brutal.
representative or authorized dealer to create the right
Like I was
plan
supposed to go
for your
home,
farm with
and I
Helena
took a nap
products
at my
and
house,
agri
and that nap turned into like a 7-hour sleep.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, "Where are you?" Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. And first hour here, and pleased to be joined by our first guest of the day, Bulldog wide receiver Josiah Freeman joins me now. Josiah, first time on the show. I know I've had some sound clips from you from practices. We've talked for a while. You've been around station.
Oh, yeah.
First time on the show. How are we doing?
I'm doing good. I feel good. You know, summer's been good. It's hot out here, of course, in Fresno, but just getting to it per usual.
Right.
Year 4 here, last year, so excited about that.
I got to ask just right off the top. Of course, we knew this season you were hoping to at least have the opportunity, right, to play this season. You got that granted to you, and I asked Roland last week because he was in kind of the same situation you were. First off, tell me how you found out that you were ended up being eligible for this season, and what was the excitement level like?
Me and Coach Ansey, we had those conversations as far as like, I think I got my medical from that 2024 season when he first got here, and he was like, we'll swing back around to it as we get towards the end of last season. So around November, October, they started filing all the paperwork that was needed, and then it was kind of just a waiting game from there. It was kind of like hard for me too, because I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be done, so I gotta start preparing for what's next, or get ready to come back in January. So we ended up going to the bowl game late December, and then it was the day before the game. We were out there in the hotel, and then we were at breakfast, and Coach Ansel was sitting at a table, and I just went up to his table to grab a set of spoon and forks because I didn't have any, and then he was like, sit down. I'm like, oh dang, I think he's gonna tell me
you
got
thinking
denied.
the bad news.
I was like, I either got denied or I got approved, and he's like your waiver went through, and I'm like, it kind of just like it was a relief for me because I'm like,
freed you up.
Yeah, I'm like, I knew I wanted to come back and play again. Obviously, I knew I wanted to come back to Fresno, and it really just freed me up. And then I was able to go out there and play freely too that next game.
You played one of your best games.
Yeah, that was probably like my best game for sure.
Fresno State with all the yardage you racked up, and I know it was a low-scoring game, but you made a major impact on it. It had to have affected something, right?
Oh, yeah,
you felt that? Was it the freest you felt on a football field at Fresno State?
Most definitely, because I'm like. Because that whole towards the end of the half of the season, I'm like, I really didn't know what to expect, and just off the field things going on as far as like I said, agents and agents reaching out like, you might be done, or they don't. To their knowledge, like, okay, this is your last season. Now let's get you prepared
you got to juggle
for what's
right?
next. Exactly. So
of course you're like, well, let's try the draft thing.
Yeah. So then he told me that, and I just felt it was a good environment too. Arizona Bowl, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
And and
you got to sit there and enjoy the whole event, right?
Exactly.
The whole thing. You got to celebrate. You got to meet Snoop. I'm sure. How much of a thrill was that for you?
That was fun. He came in the locker room.
He had a pump-up speech.
Yeah, I seen that after like the little video he had when he was commentating that little long run I had. That was pretty cool to see. My mom, family was excited about that.
Right. Did you ever think, like, as a kid, like if you say, hey, you're gonna get a pump-up speech from Snoop Dogg one day?
No, I didn't. But I didn't even expect it either. Like, I didn't know. Obviously, I knew we were going to the Arizona Bowl. It was his Snoop Dogg Bowl. Right. I didn't think he was going to be commentating. It was pretty funny.
Well, did you see his kickoff catch?
I did. Yeah. That was.
How would you grade it? Not too bad.
He just got to stay on his feet.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be good.
Touchback.
Give him a chance to return it.
Exactly. I know Speedy had a little connection with Snoop.
Oh, yeah.
From his days.
Yeah, from youth football. I know he has a youth football league in LA and stuff like that.
It's cool connections. Of course, you guys got to celebrate a win, and that had to feel really good to validate kind of what you guys were this season, which I knew we knew there were some games you probably certainly felt got away from this group, and this team put a stamp on the season in a better way. How did you feel like that game quantified what you guys accomplished that season last year?
Our bowl game?
Yeah, your bowl.
It just showed a lot as far as like we're a team, a brotherhood.
Right.
Like you said, there's a lot of games. There was a few games out there that we feel like we left a lot out there that we should have had, and we just came together to finish out. A lot of we weren't home for Christmas, but we were with each other, and of course I want to be with my family, but I was with some of the closest people that are in my life now and that I'll know for a long time going forward. So. It was good just to be around a lot of good people, a lot of people I'm going to know for a very long time to come. And it just our chemistry off the field just helps us on the field.
Yeah.
And I think that showed because, different crowd, different environment, playing that game. And, like you said, it was a low-scoring game, but, we came together and we all found a way to, come out victorious.
The magnitude of those drives you guys put together to just get, you knew if you just chew clock, you guys kept moving the chains, kept keeping the ball, you guys were going to find a way with the way your defense was playing, which how much does that help you, man, as an offensive guy, to just see your defense do that on that side?
No, it helps a whole lot. Like I could say, like that Boise State game, it really showed us. I'm sure it showed everyone on the team, but it really opened my eyes to like, okay, like our defense is really like you know, they weren't leading the nation in certain categories for no reason. You know,
Right.
Boise State, you know, hard to say, but, you know, they got some good running backs back there. And, you know, for me to and us to see that our defense would shut them down like that, and, you know, kind of made it easy, not easy for the offense, but
It took the weight off
Yeah.
of, like, gotta score,
Yeah.
right? Because you feel
Yeah.
that sometimes in games,
Oh, yeah.
gotta get it,
Yeah.
and sometimes that can push a little bit. In some games,
Mhm.
you probably felt that a little
Yeah.
bit, right?
Yeah.
And it's good to have that defense there. And, you know, transitioning into this season, of course, what has been remarkable to me is just the amount of guys who are buying in and coming back.
Yeah.
You're, of course, one of them.
Yeah.
And tell me about just what has been the motivating factor for not just you, but maybe for some other guys, of why this is the feeling like this is where we need to be, where a lot of these guys have needed to be,
Yeah.
even though, you know, we know with all the outside circumstances and everything like that. But how much has been the message, or tell me about that, just kind of going through the process of knowing you needed to be here?
Just trusting the process, knowing that, you know, I've been through a whole lot here. You know, I've been through injuries. I've been through, you know, not playing, sitting out,
Right.
you know, playing behind, you know, a lot of great receivers like, you know, Mac Delana. I was rotating with him my first year that I was actually playing, and just seeing how the process works. And, you know, in 2024, when that whole new coaching staff came in, you know, a lot of guys hitting the transfer portal. You know, I was one of those guys too, but ultimately I ended up staying, of course. But, you know, I really just believed in, you know, trusting the process, because, you know, I came from junior college, so that's a whole different story. You really got to, like, believe. You know, we don't have all the tools and, you know, outside things that, you know, we have here. So I just knew that, you know, if I keep my head down, you know, get past this injury that I had that happened at 24 season, you know, trust Coach Hardy. You know, Coach Entz came in, everybody was a little, like, you know, a little iffy, because, you know, like I said, it's a whole switch from, you know, Skip to
Right.
Coach Entz, but the message he brought to us, and, you know, what he spoke to us really stuck with a lot of us. And, you know, I feel like a lot of guys that were on the team and are still on the team, like, we showed him, like, the Bulldog way and the traditions, and, you know, he had his ways, and just bringing those together, it just, you know, and ultimately ended up helping us having the season we did have, of course.
I want to ask, what specifically did Entz say anything specific that sold you on it? What was it exactly that made you feel comfortable that he could be your coach?
You know, he just said, you know, the guys who do stay, you know, trust the process. You know, we're going to be winners, of course. And, you know, he always says we're a premier developmental team. You know, if you come here, stay with me, we're going to get you. He's going to bring in the right staff to get you developed, get you prepared, and, you know, get you to where you want to go, because he just wants what's best for everybody at the end of the day.
Yeah, of course, you're aware of his pedigree, I'm sure, the
Yeah,
North Dakota
for sure.
State side of things and everything like that, and his time at USC 2 years ago. I want to ask how this spring has gone, because I think there's a lot of rumblings that I've heard, a lot of really good stuff out of the wide receiver group. Guys maybe, you know, really taking step forward. Of course, that, you know, we'll see how it all looks in the fall and what that work looks like. But do you feel like guys have really made strides from last year to this year in the spring?
Most definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, we got a couple incoming freshmen, that early enrollee freshmen.
Right.
And, you know, from day one, you know, we had to show them, you know, it's a lot different from high school to, you know, college. So the small details, just from, you know, where you're lined up for like 1 yard, like, you know, your coach is going to get on you as far as like being detailed. You might have made a great play, but, you know, your split was wrong. You know, that's different from, you know, high school, junior college to, you know, Division I football. But we definitely took a big step, you know, in the receiver room. A lot of leaders stepping up, you know, Zeke, Jordan, Jaleel, you know, holding. You know, we like to hold each other accountable too. You know, we don't like to just, at the end of the day, it's competition, but, you know, we're a brotherhood. And, you know, we just all want to see each other do great, but, you know, we're also going to push each other, because we want to see what's best for each other.
Names I've heard, Jordan, of course, I've heard, I feel like everybody I talked to, Jordan's been popping up. Like, in the conversation. Even Harold Duvall has been popping up in the conversation as well.
Yeah, Harold most definitely. You know, he got some reps during the season as a freshman, and it just feels good seeing that, because, you know, he's a young kid, but he's asking all the right questions. You know, he kind of looks up to me as far as, like, you know, what I could have done better. You know, I even ask him that too, like, sometimes because, you know, he has great ball skills. You know, he's still getting developing, you know, fitting his body, learning how to, you know, use his speed, use his tempo, and use what he's good at to his advantage. And you know, he's going to be a great player for sure.
what is the big focus on this wide receiver group going in, right? Because I know you guys, of course, want to see this offense be a little more explosive this year, and wide receiver certainly can help in that aspect. Has there been a primary focus on the way you guys have kind of attacked the football, or the way you guys kind of work downfield a little bit, or have the DBs helped you guys get a little bit better that way? But what's been the focus for the wide receiver group this year?
Definitely, like you said, being more explosive in the pass game.
Yeah.
But it all starts, in the run game. So our coach wants us to buy into the run game. If we got to go dig out a safety, we got to go do it.
The blocking side.
Exactly.
Right.
The blocking, getting the running backs, the linemen help them get past the first level. Then, we got to make those second level blocks, to spring them for that 60-yard run. And
or spring you for the 60-yard.
Exactly. Yeah. All that, it just, just buys and helps in opening up the pass game, getting us those one-on-one shots and deep ball opportunities. It's pretty much trying to be explosive.
And, of course, it comes with the relationship that you have with the quarterbacks that you work with. And I know you got some guys in there, of course, with Martin coming in and some of the freshmen, Rose and Chambers. But you got Mandel, who you've worked with before, right? And he seems to be feeling really a lot better about his health.
Yeah.
He seems to be really throwing the ball well.
Mm-hmm.
No matter who it is, how has the rapport been with those guys? And do you feel like you're gaining a lot with the quarterbacks and your relationship with them?
Yeah, most definitely. I think we hit a lot of deep shots this spring.
Yeah.
Everybody, they all feel confident back there. Day one, Kmart came in, or he committed here. He texted me like, I'm ready to get to work. I'm like, let's do it.
Right.
So through January, before spring ball, we were trying to meet every day before lift, trying to just watch film what we could have done better. And like you said, I've already had that connection with Mandel. The couple of years we've been here together, so I feel like when we both get out there, it's already just a click. I always ask him, like, I'll be right. Like, you could trust me to, like, be where, you need me to be, and I'm going to trust you to get the ball to where you got to get it to.
You mentioned some good deep connections. Is there a ball you remember this spring that you're like, oh, my God, I can't believe we got that one? Is there a couple that you're like, or you saw a guy do something and you're like, holy,
Yeah, no. They got some, Mandel and Kmart, they got an arm on them, so we got to be running. But I know, I think it was Harold. Harold ran like a go route to the field, and I forgot, it was either Mandel or Kmart, but they got it there on the money. I'm like,
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah,
that's
a long throw, and it was on the money.
Josiah Freeman in here with me, 1430 ESPN. Of course, now it's the summer side of things. You guys are getting a little more, just getting the lifting in, right?
Yeah.
Getting the conditioning in.
Yeah.
Especially, these days now, the conditioning's more important, right?
Oh, yeah.
What's the important part of this stage of the year to make sure you guys stay focused and ready for when fall starts?
Just like you said, conditioning, lifting, trying to get ready for fall camp. Everybody's got to be in the best shape, they have been all year right now. But we got a good strength conditioning staff. Coach Ward, I've known him for a long time. He's been here ever since I've been here. He has a good plans for us. Even nutrition-wise, we got a couple nutritionists that a lot of guys like to take advantage of. But it's real important right now. Like I said, going into camp, going into game one, you got to feel your strongest, your best. And after that, it's just trying to get back to feeling your greatest. Because once the season starts, bumps and bruises start happening, and all the things you did right now is just gonna play a role into the season. And we like to stress the extra 22, like. Every day we come to the facility, we work out, we lift, we run, we do everything we got to do for those mandatory 2 hours. But, it's really what you do outside of that as far as taking care of your body, what you put in your body. That's really going to, separate you from, just average to being great and getting to where you want to be.
Who's pushing the competition in the weight room right now for you guys?
Sim's always on the defensive side, just chatting, looking over the offensive side, see what we're lifting, and kind of just chatting back and forth like, oh, you only doing 2 plays? I'm put it. But yeah, definitely Sim. TP on the defensive side, of course. They just like to talk.
But you can beat him on the speed side of things, right?
Oh yeah, I'm running past him.
Of course, you got the own the stadium run. I love that tradition, of course, and I'm sure you're looking forward to one more of those, right?
Yeah, one more. Yeah. I remember my first year.
Yeah, I remember your first time. I was going to ask, what was it like?
It wasn't too bad, honestly. I feel like I think that was my fastest time. And then the previous years after that running, I thought I was ready for it again, but I kind of felt a little more tired the second, third time I did.
Do you remember your fastest time?
It was probably somewhere in the 20s, 28, 26, around there. I think around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I remember? I heard everybody got theirs last year.
Huh.
Everybody got.
Yeah.
Because you got to beat it by an hour.
Yeah, you get an hour to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody finished.
That's got to be a real nice come together moment.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Pizza party afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm. everybody just laid out on the
pool
floor.
party at Coach N.
Something. We got to do something.
Exactly. You guys got to pitch it.
Yeah.
Josiah, tell me about kind of just, growing up, were you always just kind of a tall statured guy, and tell me a little bit about maybe, growing up being a football player. You knew you were wide receiver the whole time. Like, what was it like growing up where you were?
So it was a super small town, Soledad. It's about 2 hours north from here.
Yes.
One high school, one middle school. But I had a big family, very athletic family. A lot of my cousins played football. I played football with a lot of them growing up. And we were always just outside. There wasn't much to do, but, we were always just find something to play basketball.
Right. I imagine you played a little basketball, right?
Yeah, I played a little basketball in high school, but I think my days might be over. But I played running back through Pop Warner. But
you played running back?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people play running back. Just the best athlete, just give them the ball. And run. But as I got older, I started getting a little taller. And high school, switched to receiver.
When did the recruiting start coming for you? Even though you said you kind of grew up in a smaller area, when did it start kind of popping for you?
It didn't start until my first year after junior college, because like I said, it's super small town. Nobody had ever went, to play Division I football. So I didn't really see myself. I knew I wanted to play football, but just not seeing it happen anywhere around me, I didn't think it was possible. So I kind of was just I just want to keep playing football, and then whatever happens, happens. And then, that first year, or graduated when COVID started, so I didn't have that first year at JUCO. And then 2021 came around, and I had a pretty good season, honestly.
Yeah.
But the year before that, I always remember just going to the park by myself and just training, just trying to get ready for that first season there, and I feel like that really helped me.
Instilled some sort of repertoire regiment, right?
Yeah.
And kept you really disciplined.
Yeah,
right?
But the recruiting, I went to the Sac State JUCO mega camp.
Yeah.
It's a 2-day camp where all the coaches come out here, go to Sac State and just watch the guys work. And I remember I was gonna go, then I forgot what school, and it told me I should go. I'm like, all right, I'll go. And I was going through the drills. Fresno was talking to me a little bit right there, but they never fully offered me. But I remember the OC and the receiver coach at the time came out to come see me, and I think we did one-on-ones. And the first rep killed the dude, and then it just went from there
skyrocketed.
Yeah, skyrocketed. They offered me right on the spot, then they took off, and then I just kept going one-on-ones. And next thing you know, that this school offered, and all the corners right there, I'm gonna go with him. I'm like, I just went 10 reps, but I'm winning every rep. So all these schools, and I just remember that's when I got all my offers.
Better for you though, right?
Yeah, and then I was just damn, this was really all the work that I did by myself, with my cousins, because I don't want to say I don't like to use by myself actually, because my cousins, my family, they all helped me get to where I want to get to.
Of course.
As far in junior college, I didn't have a car. I'm riding with my cousins every day to and from practice, so they helped play a big part in that too. But just after that camp, I went back to my aunt's house because that's where we were staying for those 2 days, and I kind of just started crying because I'm like, damn, this was really possible. I have all these options, I have all these options.
Yeah.
And it just went on from there.
And it's been validating, right?
Mm-hmm.
That process. And of course, you mentioned the JUCO route, and we have Coach Josh Brown, who's going to be the Fresno City football coach later on in the show. So we get in that conversation, and there's no shame in the JUCO route, right? Because there's so many guys that come through it. I say this, look at the statistics, right? 2 of the last 6 MVPs in the National Football League played California JUCO, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the stats, that's a route, So does that validate just the grind of that and show you guys don't feel defeated if you have to go that way?
Yeah, no, it definitely does. Like I said, JUCO, you gotta be strong-minded. You gotta trust that there's gonna be light at the end of the tunnel as long as you're putting your head down and working every day and doing what you're supposed to be doing on and off the field, then you can get to that next level and keep going from there. But I really say, it's definitely a grind. I'm thankful that I didn't live too far from my
Yeah,
school.
your
So I was,
structure,
I was able to commute, but I watched a lot of guys come from out of state.
Yeah.
Really struggle a lot, and those off the field issues might play a role
Right.
or take part in the on field issues. But I was definitely grateful. But I seen it all.
Well, I'm so excited to see what you do this season. And of course, folks are excited for this season with the Pac-12. Are you? I'm asking the players this in every interview, but you don't. You have every opportunity to win this conference now because you don't have to worry about any tiebreaker.
Exactly.
You play everybody, you
Yeah.
got to beat everybody,
Yep.
right? Are you happy as a player? You get to just prove it on the field. This year?
Yeah, definitely super happy.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we have the opportunity to go out there, first year in the Pac-12 and win it all, and it's very capable. It's in the reach of our hands as long as everybody buys into not just Coach Ence's process, but everybody, the whole coaching staff. Like to preach, coach-led teams are good, but player-led teams are great. We all hold each other accountable. We got a lot of great leaders on this team this year.
For sure, and I think a lot of people are very excited, and USC is right on the top, right? Are you excited to play in the Coliseum?
Yeah, that'll be super exciting. My first time playing in the Coliseum. I don't really know.
You're gonna hear that fight song way too. That march they play or whatever. It's gonna be.
I can't wait though. It'll be a great opportunity for the team and everybody.
But you weren't there when the Hayner injury went down, were
No.
you?
No, I remember watching it though.
When he got the hip injury,
Yeah.
right? And, he went down for a few weeks, and then of course they bounced back and won the Mountain West. So that was a good season. But I feel like we got to get a fairer shot than what they did back then. Josiah, I'm excited to see what you do this year. I think you're going to be an awesome part of this offense, and of course. We're excited to have you guys on the station
Appreciate
coming
it.
up.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you. No problem.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Josiah Freeman here on 1430 ESPN Fresno. We'll take a break. Right back on the Central Valley Sports Leader on 1430.
This Father's Day, celebrate the golfing dad in your life with something special from Roger Dunn Golf Shops. Whether it's new clubs, golf gear, apparel, or the perfect gift card. And sometimes it's not just about the gifts. It's about the memories, the time spent with Dad. Walking through Roger Dunn, trying out putters.
When I was little, my dad used to take us to Roger Dunn all the time. It was the highlight of my childhood memories to go golf in the little putting green. So much fun.
And remember, dads are number one at Roger Dunn.
Ed Dinas, the dealer in Dinuba that does. Yes, he does.
Now's the time to upgrade your driveway before they're gone. Right now, get big savings on a powerful lineup of 2026 GMC Sierras and Denali's, plus Chevy Silverados and Suburbans, built for work, family, and everything in between. And remember, nobody customizes your ride like Ed Dinas. Inventory is moving fast, and these deals won't last. So step onto the lot today or online at eddinasautocenter.com.
Stone Fruit Harvest is happening right now, and every minute counts. Get the job done with the help of Pioneer Equipment, your Kubota authorized dealer. Growers across the valley choose Kubota over Blue and Green because of reliability, comfort, and easy maneuvering, plus value with durable performance. With Fresno and Reedley locations, Pioneer Equipment, your Kubota authorized dealer, has the equipment, parts, and service you need to operate through harvest. Visit Pioneer Equipment, your Kubota authorized dealer today at pioneerequipmentca.com.
Citizens Business Bank is a proud sponsor of the Fresno State Bulldogs. Hi, I'm Susan Woosner, Senior Vice President and Manager of Citizens Business Bank in Fresno. We proudly support California's thriving small to medium-sized businesses. Our relationship-based approach and straightforward business model set us apart in the financial services industry. We are a banking partner that understands your industry and your company. Whether you're expanding operations or planning for the future, Citizens Business Bank is here to help ensure your banking experience is smooth, convenient, and aligned with your success. My team strives to build long-term banking relationships by getting to personally know you and your business, and then providing you with a wide array of powerful solutions customized to your unique financial needs. Visit cbbank.com to learn how Citizens Business Bank can help contribute to your success. That's cbbank.com. Citizens Business Bank, N.A., Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Welcome to A Plus Signs.
Thanks. Yeah, I need some custom exterior signs for my business.
Great. What's the name of your business?
C Plus Signs.
Wait, you own a sign company?
Yep, C Plus Signs.
And you want us, A Plus Signs, to make your signs?
Yeah, I need them really fast, and we can't touch our turnaround times.
We are kind of known for that.
For signs that stop traffic, drive traffic, and even direct traffic, call A Plus Signs.
Remember, A Plus has great technicians to service and repair signs, too.
Yeah, we got a guy, but he's afraid of ladders.
Hey, it's Phil Venati from Behind the Bench. Summer's here, and that means a lot of us are either heading to the lake, taking a family trip, or hitting the beach. It's a fun time of year, but with more people on the road, it's always smart to stay alert and drive safe. But if the unexpected happens and you're hurt in an accident that wasn't your fault, give Davis and Van Wagenen a call. They're great to work with. They'll fight for your compensation you deserve. Have a great summer and stay safe out there. From me and my friends at Davis and Van Wagenen.
Precision Civil Engineering is building the Valley from the ground up. From planning and land surveying to civil engineering and construction management, they handle it all with the experience you can trust. Proud sponsors of Fresno State Athletics, Precision brings that same commitment to excellence to every project. With over 20 years of experience, they're helping shape the communities we live and work in every day. From concept to completion, it's all done with precision. Learn more at precisioneng.com. Go Dogs!
To Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno. Big thanks to Josiah Freeman for joining me in the last segment. Excited for this Bulldog season, of course, and let's move on to another part of our conversation here, because I still have so many questions to ask about what happened last night in the world of sports. And one aspect, it got reminded, I was reminded of the nature of how we go about watching sports as a collective community, right? Because not everyone I know is fans of the same team. We're not. My whole entire friend group is fans of many different teams at the moment, and so there are many different crossover moments of teams playing for championships, and you feel that those friends, and even you, if you're dealing with it, feel vulnerable. Like Daniel, you of course had to deal with it when the Yanks were in the World Series, and we clowned the hell out of them the whole time. Two Octobers ago. I don't know if you were here yet.
I wasn't there, but you clowned me during the divisionals.
Yeah, well, when they be glad you weren't here for the World Series run of me making fun of this team.
I wouldn't even imagine what you were saying.
Jorge probably experienced it with his Niners run recently, right? Jorge, you know, feeling like that team could have aspirations, and then you go and watch a game like you did in the playoffs, and you're not quite sure how to feel about it, right? And,
yeah. I mean, I experienced it a lot in soccer too.
Yeah.
With my national team, and you know, Galaxy that's been through a couple of finals, and just like heartbreak stuff.
Yeah, heartbreak stuff, right? We all watch somebody die. Because that's how it feels when you watch a team collapse, like what we watched last night. And, you know, like my Patriots were stunk in the Super Bowl, and that's how I felt.
Yeah, one of the hardest things is when you throw a Super Bowl party and their Super Bowl team goes to the Super Bowl and they lose.
Oh, yeah.
And now the party keeps going, and they want to keep going.
And you just want nothing to do with humanity.
Yeah.
For the rest of the night. There's a clear and obvious reason you don't want to see any human being the rest of the day. I feel that, man. As soon as I remember the Patriots lost the Eagles, I had a 2-hour drive after that game. I was in Wyoming at the time. Literally, game ended, and I walked out of the door of the Super Bowl party, and I drove 2 hours in the Wyoming wilderness to get back home where I was. I know that feeling, and honestly, it was good therapy at the time. My dad does not hold a Super Bowl party when the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. Like, he will not allow anyone to come over. It has to be him and maybe my mother in the other room. And that's it. It has to be isolation for my father in the Super Bowl era.
I get that, because they're just like, when I threw the party, when was 2 years ago? When
you lost in Vegas? Yeah.
Yeah. You know, everybody was still there, And I was just devastated.
You were
I
like-
didn't feel as bad as I felt the one before.
Like, get the hell out of
in
here.
Miami. But yeah, that was definitely rough.
Well, I posed this question because we all have felt that side of it before, but we also have felt the other side of when we watch somebody's team die like that in some sad capacity. And last night I felt that feeling because, of course, we know Tanvir here on the show, and I had a moment of, do I text condolences to him in some form or fashion? Or does that make it objectively worse? Are you worse of a person to send a "I'm sorry that happened to you" or something like that text versus just no text at all? Or hey, where do you stand on sending a text to somebody and saying, "Sorry, man, that was rough," or because I could go either way on it. I think I'm leaning one direction of the text shouldn't come through. You shouldn't be sending the text. How do you feel?
Don't send a text. I don't want to hear it. I
Like, you're well aware. Like, Jorge, you're well aware that it's like, sorry, man.
Yeah.
You don't need to remind me that
Talk to
everything
me tomorrow.
stinks.
I don't want to hear about anything. Talk to me tomorrow. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Right.
I have a better understanding tomorrow. Right now, it's just happened. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear you. I want to see your text. It'll be okay.
I get bad texts sometimes, like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that happened to your team." I'm like, yeah, I'm well aware. Thank you for telling me that. Yes, Daniel, do you feel the same way?
Yes and no, and I think it's just a hater in me.
You're a little bit of a troll, though.
Yeah.
I think you're a little more of a troll.
I do like to troll a bit, especially when it's like
It's this new generation, man. They like to troll more.
like occasionally, if I really feel bad, then I won't text them, and then the next
Okay.
day I'll be like, how you holding up after all that? You
Okay.
know.
All right. Well, so now I'm taking a note here, Jorge, and I'm not going to send a text to Jorge because I respect him, but I will send a text to Daniel now that he's opened up this can of worms. When El Tree goes out in the round of 32,
No.
you will be getting a text from me.
No, it's not happening. Don't you dare wish that upon us.
Jorge, do you want me to send a condolence text to you when El Tree goes out in the round of 32?
I don't need that. I know it's dead. I know I'll be gone. I don't need it.
You don't need a reminder.
See, the thing is, like this new generation feels like they're,
Right.
they could talk smack, but like they've never been punched in the face or something.
What
My generation, you talk smack, you get smacked, but
Right. How bad does the loss have to be? That's my other question. What's the threshold of loss that signifies a win you text somebody and when you don't? Like yesterday, of course.
Yesterday you don't.
Right.
If it was something like when the
Like if it was game 2 when they was that the game they came back and took a 1-point lead and then the Knicks won it anyway?
That's the one.
When the
where
Spurs had that crazy comeback?
Yeah, Wemby threw the ball at.
When he threw it at Castle.
Yeah, that was game 2.
Or wasn't game 1 the one when the Knicks came back from double digits? Like a down
or like
11?
the Super Bowl with Kansas City and the Eagles when it was over from the beginning.
Right, it was a good game.
Yeah.
Right? But like...
That's kind of like, I think that game though, like if it's just a blowout like that, they're not coming back. That's where you send a text just mid-game and be like, hey, like...
Like, I think the qualifier of the text is, like, to me, if you send me a text about the Patriots Super Bowl last year, I've compartmentalized it. I've rationalized it for the last, like, couple of hours into the game that I was like, oh, we're not winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I've dealt with that grief, right? I've come to the acceptance stage after dealing with all of the things.
Yeah.
The rip your heart out death that the Spurs experienced last night, added on top of what the comeback was, I think qualifies as the apex, the zenith of that kind of moment where you don't text somebody.
Yeah, I think my most similar moment was last year NBA playoffs. It was Clippers, Nuggets, Western. I think it was first round.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to a game 7, and everybody's hyping up the Clippers. They're like, oh, they've learned Jokic, this and that.
Right.
Only to get blown out in that game, and I was frustrated. I quite literally texted everyone. I was like,
Right.
don't text me. I'm turning my phone off. Don't.
Now this is, I think, also the other qualifier for this is it only is playoffs. to me.
Yeah.
It could only, like, I'll be very respectful of you because playoffs, that's your season. Your season's over. I know a friend who's a Nationals fan. I sent a condolence text yesterday to the Nationals fan. for what went down with the Giants in San Francisco. So to me, regular season's fair game to completely troll people. I think so, right, Jorge?
You do it all the time.
Like if the Niners blow a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter in the regular season, the trolling is fair.
Yeah, I feel like you could. Regular season's different. Like
it's not your
like
season's not over.
Yeah, if I had a friend, that was a Nationals fan yesterday, I would have definitely texted him.
Yeah, of course you would.
You know? If it's a final thing, I'm like, if it's something more important,
right?
It's like
my
if
condolences
it's a game against a rivalry.
Yeah,
like a rivalry game.
Do you text somebody 2 days later? I know we got to go, but 2 days later text maybe.
I don't know about 2 days.
Is that
later.
even worse?
I feel like that's hurting, like reopening the wound.
We may explore this in the next hour. I got so much more to chew on. All right, we got to go. Hour number 2 coming up next here on 1430 ESPN.
Whether your summer getaway, Clausen Honda of Fresno has a huge selection of new Hondas, certified pre-owned, and quality used vehicles ready for the road ahead. Enjoy friendly service, competitive financing, and a no-pressure experience built around you. Service team keeps you moving. Clausen Honda of Fresno has a huge selection of new Hondas on Blackstone, north of Bullard.
For 80 years, Fresno Pacific University has been shaping the heart and soul of California as the Central Valley's only accredited Christian university. Today, our deep faith roots and pride in our community drive us to provide affordable, career-relevant education that transforms the lives of our students and the communities they serve. Discover your calling through over 100 undergraduate and graduate programs offered on campus or fully online. Fresno Pacific University. Learn more at fpu.edu.
Sports fans of the Central Valley, are you ready to step up your game day grilling? Step into the Butcher Boss and discover winning flavors the champions crave. Ask about their 5 for $35 deal, where you can feed up to 5 people for $35 every day. Located right off the 41 north of Avenue 11, stop by the Butcher Boss today and become the boss of your barbecue.
The Donald P. Dick Super Saver Program is an annual maintenance membership for your home's heating and air conditioning. A certified HVAC specialist will service your system at no additional charge. They'll make sure to keep everything running right, including filter replacement, refrigerant checks, airflow checks, and electrical inspections. Improved efficiency prevents breakdowns and saves you money. Call 255-1644 for Donald P. Dick AC and Solar in Fresno.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Companies. If you thought you missed your chance to refinance and save, think again. Mortgage rates have recently dropped below 3%, and Rocket Mortgage can help you save big. You could lower your monthly payment and prepare yourself for a better financial future. But you've got to act now. Call us today at 833-8-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Conditions apply. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-444-2013 or biglou.com.
This Father's Day, skip the usual and treat Dad to something he'll actually enjoy. All June long, Lynn's Restaurant Group is celebrating dads with something.
Your home for high school sports. 1430 ESPN, the Valley's local sports leader. KFIG Fresno.
I'm Christine Lisi. As the Stanley Cup Final returns to Raleigh, North Carolina for a critical Game 5 tonight, the Hurricanes are expected to start goaltender Brandon Bussey against the Golden Knights. Face off in an hour on ABC. He replaced Freddie Anderson in the third period of the Game 3 double overtime loss, and he started the Game 4 win, which tied that series up at 2 games apiece. The largest World Cup in history kicked off today with Mexico's 2-0 victory over South Africa. The U.S. opens up against Paraguay tomorrow night. Spurs center Victor Wembanyama maintains his team remains resolute in the aftermath of their historical collapse in Game 4 of the NBA Finals when they blew a 29-point lead in a 1-point loss to the Knicks. Lots of work ahead for Coach Mitch Johnson with San Antonio down 3-1, says NBA champion Jaren Jackson Sr.
They're going to have to get back into the drawing board, and, they just got to figure out who's going to be on the floor in the second half, who can touch the paint. Can Wemby do it? Maybe. We don't know. I think Castle's done a great job of it, on a consistent basis. He's got to figure out the way to get Castle in the paint. Harper's just been magnificent. You've got to find ways to get him on the floor to generate buckets.
Jaren Jackson Sr. on Freddie and Harry. Game 5 Saturday, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio, 8:30 Eastern on ABC. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton sent a letter to Big 12 Commissioner Brett York, notifying the league it would be exposed to substantial liability if it takes action against Texas Tech for playing quarterback Brendan Sorsby. Sorsby, who was declared ineligible by the NCAA for betting on college sports, got a temporary injunction to play for the Red Raiders from a judge on Monday.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Friday, we'll get you ready for Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Can the Spurs regroup after blowing a 29-point lead? Plus, we'll react to the Stanley Cup Final. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
From local high school sports,
It's good to be joined by our Student Athlete of the Week. Anthony, how's it feel to be a Student Athlete of the Week?
Feels good, man.
to your Fresno State Bulldogs.
Pleasure to always have Coach Entz in the building here. And Coach, how are you doing on this Tuesday night?
Doing good. Doing really good.
When the athletic director of Fresno State drops in here at ESPN Fresno, Garrett, it's good to have you in.
We're just grinding every day, trying to get better. But beautiful weather right now.
And voices from the pros.
On ESPN Fresno with Sean Merriman, Charger linebacker. Great.
Man, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Q Myers joining me now. He's with the Raiders, of course.
Man, I love Fresno. I really do, man.
Rick Neuheisel here with us on ESPN Fresno.
It is a treat to be on ESPN Fresno.
This is your home for all things sports. Hosted by Phil Bonatti, breaking it down, calling it like it is, and taking you behind the game. This is Behind the Bench on ESPN Fresno.
That is right. Behind the Bench here on 1430. Hour number 2 of 3 as we take you up to Grizzlies baseball tonight. On 1430, 6:30, I believe, is the first pitch of that one from Visalia. As it's Grizzlies Rawhide rivalry week between those two teams. Grizzlies need to get a win there. I think they've lost the first 2 of that series, so hopefully they can find the winning way on the trip down to Visalia. Let's talk about, of course, what we got coming up. First of all, big thanks you to Fashion Furniture, who celebrating 250 years, like we we all are, with the 250 America celebration. Red, white, and blue sale here. Save up to 25% store-wide with 0% interest financing for 36 months. We're talking 25% off occasional and home offices. How about 20% off entertainment wall units, 20% off dining room and bedroom pieces, 20% off all upholstery categories, 20% off outdoor furniture, all with no interest financing for 36 months, a down payment of $99.99 minimum purchase required, excluding kit, tax, and delivery. Save 50% off in-stock only kids furniture and youth furniture also while supplies last. Fashion Furniture, nothing like it in all of California. And also, if you're looking to make dinner plans tonight, skip the ordinary. Enjoy a Fresno classic. Richard's Prime Rib and Seafood is open Wednesday through Friday for dinner, featuring legendary prime rib, fresh seafood, and an unforgettable atmosphere. Make your dinner plans tonight with our friends over at Richard's Prime Rib and Seafood. All right, let's get into what we will now call a daily segment here until the World Cup final. It is the World Cup date, which we don't have imaging for, but I want to call it the Cup date here. We used to call it Jorge's Soccer Cup date. when we had the did we talk about the Euros 2 years ago? I can't remember if we did. I think we did. And then I think we also had the Gold Cup, all that stuff. But here we are, the World Cup.
It was a Gold Cup when it was happening last year.
Yeah. So, but now it's exclusive to anyone who wants to talk soccer, of course. And we have opening day final from Mexico City, right?
Yes.
That's where the game was. And El Tri goes and wins 2-0. 2-0, as they say, or 2-0.
2-0.
2-0 against South Africa today, which I think if you look at the pundits and who believed they were going to win in some form or fashion, I think this is the result they expected. Maybe a little more chippy of a game with the red cards that were out there. Certainly had some dynamic moments. But Mexico gets a win, and I think that's all that matters for the Mexico fans at the moment is you don't fall on your face in the opening match of the World Cup, and this extends an 8-game unbeaten streak in World Cup openers. Their last World Cup opener they lost was in 1994 when they lost to Norway. So how about a 6 wins, 2 draws, no losses in your last 8 World Cup openers? So this is just what El Tri does, is go to win that first game. So how do you feel, Daniel, first of all, and I'll go to Jorge next. How do you feel about a 2-0 2-0 win over South Africa to start everything off?
Well, obviously happy. You know, the game was very, I won't say not exciting, just it was kind of all over the place for a bit.
Yeah.
You know, chances weren't being created like how, you know, you see like these top countries do.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, when they were being created, it was a pretty exciting game. It was a very chippy game. I think from the beginning, South Africa was more the aggressive side, getting some early yellows, and then obviously they got that early red as well. Didn't help.
Yeah.
But it was still a fun game to watch.
Jorge, how do you feel about Mexico's 2-0 effort in a win over South Africa?
I feel good. It was a good game. It was you know, I feel like they could have scored another one. I think at the end it just got a little bit too there were many changes that happened at the end, and they were trying to get in track, and then the red card came in, and I don't know. It feels like, you know, we all know that this South Africa team, if it would have been the 32 teams, they probably wouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
It was one of the lower teams.
Right.
You know. This was an easier game. They got South Korea next, which is going to be a tougher opponent. But they played well. They moved the ball well. I think the only thing that it's a little bit like, you know, question mark is their defense.
Right.
They kind of got caught off guard a couple times, but they were able to, you know, contain them. But that's what made the game a little bit boring. Mexico was waiting for South Africa to open up, but they were just in a shell. And Mexico just was bouncing the ball back and forth, trying to get an opening, but
a little cagey.
Yeah, and Mexico doesn't have that one player who's gonna take one-on-one.
Yeah,
you know, is gonna do something special.
It's got to be some of their parts, right, in the way they attack, in the way they are able to break through. Let me give you a scoring summary. Julian Quinones is the goal scorer in the 9th minute that got it. He's the 3rd earliest goal by Mexico ever at a FIFA World Cup, earliest since Rafael Marquez got it in the 6th minute against Argentina in 2006. If you remember that. Do you remember that goal, Jorge? Rafael Marquez's 6-minute goal?
I do not remember it because I saw half that game.
Oh, the 06 Argentina game?
I was in Iraq at the time.
So okay.
When I got back from what I was doing, I went straight to watch the game. It was like daytime. I remember it was daytime.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But I did see it went to overtime, and
yeah,
that was a crazy one. Like one of those games that you will not text me.
Do not text me.
Yeah. You know,
it was young Messi, right? That they were battling. 06
yeah.
Messi. Yeah, Messi was 20 years ago.
I think he played half a game or something.
Yeah.
He didn't play that much, but yeah, it was a tough opponent.
How do you feel about Quinones being the first goal scorer of the World Cup this year? Being the trivia question. Quinones.
So are you going to explain it?
No, go ahead.
So Quinones is actually a nationalized Mexican. So he wasn't born in Mexico. He's a Colombian that basically he lived in Mexico more than he's ever lived in Colombia.
Yeah, it's like, anybody who's come to here and they were like 3 years old, right, or something like that.
Yeah,
basically.
But I'd argue he's probably one of our best players. Obviously, one of our best attackers for sure, but just best players on the squad.
Right.
He plays in the Saudi league right now. Was he top goal scorer, or was he like second?
Yes, he beat Ronaldo.
Yeah, so he beat Ronaldo in the Saudi league. He's a very clinical striker. He can play striker and winger, and so his production's great. And I think
it gives you probably a lot of confidence that hey, here he goes. He breaks through really early in this World Cup. That kind of helps open the floodgates maybe a little bit for him.
Yeah,
in this World Cup, you would imagine.
Does. Something Jorge brought up to me earlier was nobody on that defense. Granted, South Africa's not a big team. Expected him to be as good as he is. They were more on Raul Jimenez than they were, which allowed him to open up in space and get the shots and create what he wanted.
Yeah, but. I would say, of course, if you're looking at a guy who's a volume scorer in his league, to have him be kind of the guy who opens up and breaks through in this tournament, that's got to create great confidence for him moving forward into this tournament. When you play Czechia, and when you play South Korea next, whoever I think you have next, I can't quite remember who it is.
South Korea.
South Korea is the next one.
South Korea on next Wednesday, and then,
next Wednesday, yeah.
But that was next Thursday.
Or Thursday?
I think it's Thursday.
Czechia is Wednesday, I think.
Yeah.
2 weeks from
now.
So
2 weeks from now, yeah. I have the cup schedule here momentarily. Mexico plays Czechia in 2 Wednesdays from now. So Mexico plays Korea. Yeah, that's next. They play Thursday,
at
the
6
18th
o'clock.
at 6 p.m. About Raul Jimenez, by the way, 67th minute, he got on the board, becomes the 4th oldest player to score for Mexico at a World Cup. We had this, I think I said this trivia question to Jorge, and I think he remembers the name of who's the oldest to score for Mexico ever.
Who was it, Jorge?
The oldest to score for Mexico?
Yeah.
Did I forget that?
This is also in 06, by the way. This is an 06 guy.
In 06, it was Sinya, right?
No, Yaya Gomohamadi.
I've never heard of this guy.
Gomohamadi, who is at 35 years and 84 days, scored
for Mexico?
Yeah, for Mexico. Yeah, oldest player overall to score in their first start at a World Cup. Oh, no, excuse me. Yeah, never mind. He wasn't a Mexico player. I read this stat wrong. So Raul Jimenez, this is his first World Cup apparently.
No, this is first World Cup scoring in. This is his first World Cup goal.
The oldest player overall to score their first start. It's his first start.
Yeah.
Ever at a World Cup. He is the oldest player since Ghulam Ahmadi, who for Iran against Mexico. That's where I got mixed up. It was an Iranian player against Mexico. That's why, because I saw Mexico involved in the game, and I had it mixed up. So apologies. Not the oldest goal scorer.
I never heard of that player.
Yeah. Anyways, so Jimenez has 46 career goals for Mexico, which breaks a tie with Jared Borghetti for the 4th most in team history, after Javier Hernandez, Enrique Borja, and Hugo Sanchez, who are Hugo's up there, right there. So there you go. Red cards concerning? Are we concerned about those in the fair play side of things? Probably not, right? The fair play, you guys
not really.
Get another win in this group. You're locked in, obviously, in moving on. So it's not about the posturing and the fair play, but where can it hit you hard if a guy doesn't get his red card overturned maybe in the review coming in?
So. Let me get this one. I don't think it's gonna hit him hard, mainly because in the bench he has Alvarez, who was the captain and played that position in different clubs, but and he's got the experience of different already World Cups too. The only thing is that he was injured,
right?
That's why he wasn't starting, but he could easily move him there. He came in the second half. He actually played there in the second half, but we'll see what the coach does, because it's if it doesn't get overturned, but hopefully it does, because that was, I don't understand why that was a red card.
Aguirre already announced that he's starting at center back, so.
All right.
I'm not sure if they're gonna appeal it or not.
Yeah, we'll see. It's the first match. We'll see where it goes. Any other thoughts on Mexico's
This was the first match to ever have three reds, which is
really
in the first World Cup match to ever have 3 reds in.
Did it feel like a game that deserved 3 reds?
Honestly, yes.
No.
I think so. Just with how gritty South Africa was.
Yeah.
Yeah, South Africa was a little bit sloppy, but I think 2 out of the 3 reds might not have been. One of them was an obvious like slap to the face, and I don't know how you could not. That's just
that was for sure red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got South Korea, Czechia tonight, who is I believe 7 o'clock is when it gets going for them. First appearance, first matchup between South Korea and Czechia ever at the World Cup. So there you go. South Korea's been here for a while.
I don't think Czechia was an actual country.
They used to be
because it was Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, they used to be the Republic of. They used to be the Republic of Prague, by the way. So that used
Which
to be
play under Yugoslavia, right?
Yeah. So it's all,
weird
all
names
moving around.
The Balkans, beautiful.
South Korea's got to be the favorite, I think, right in this matchup. I got to imagine.
Much like South Africa, Czechia probably wouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
If this was a tournament of 32.
Hey, you remember you got Patrick Schick though. He's always sneaky.
They have players. But
Son
Heung-min,
Min,
Heung-min, and the guy that plays for LAFC. I can't remember his
that's
name.
Heung-min Son. That's
Heung-min Son.
Yeah. And then they got what's his name? PSG guy.
Yeah, another.
Kim Min-jae,
really
isn't
player.
that? No,
And
that's Lee
Kubo.
Kang-in. Kim Min-jae is from Bayern.
Yeah.
And Kubo.
Like
the guy that played in Spain.
Schick's got a dangerous guy though, Patrick Schick, who apparently was the top goal scorer in the 2020 Euro against Ronaldo.
Yeah,
he had a great tournament 6 years ago.
He's always been an underrated striker in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think he has a chance to make some noise. Me and Tanvir were talking about him the other day.
Yeah.
Like there's certainly a chance Czechia can, make a surprise shot in this group. But with the likes of Mexico and South Korea, it would have to be a lot of things going on.
What team wins benefits Mexico in the group? Is it a Czechia upset over Korea, or is it a draw in this matchup?
I think a draw almost benefits Mexico more.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you?
Definitely.
You rooting for a draw, Jorge?
A draw would definitely help Mexico or Czechia win, but you still have to win at least one more game in order to have a chance to have
Get a win. Don't do the 2-draw U.S. thing that always USA does. That makes me so mad. Every World
the
Cup.
USA has a tough opponent tomorrow, so we'll see.
Hey, remember, we got the 8 best third place
I
finishers
swear to God,
now,
if they draw to open their World Cup again, I'm going to lose it, man. I'm going to lose it. I know Tanvir's going to lose it. I know everybody.
So they played well. What was it, like 3 months ago? They played against Paraguay.
Yeah.
I think right before the actual keys were known. And
we don't need to preview the U.S.
The U.S.
Yeah.
got really good.
Yeah. I don't want to litigate the U.S. yet because that's tomorrow. Because we can preview them tomorrow night on our show. One last game I want to preview it's going to happen before my show tomorrow. Canada and Bosnia-Herzegovina. Govina, or however you say it. Canada's playing, of course. This is going to be at noon tomorrow. 3rd ever World Cup, 2nd in a row. They also played in 1986. I think they're dangerous, even though Tanvir talked about their top player potentially being out at the moment with injury. They got Jonathan David's a name that a lot of people know from the Canadian side, right?
Davis, yeah.
Yeah. On Bosnia's side, the name you want to hear is Edin Zeko.
Edin Dzeko.
Edin Dzeko, is that how you say it? Okay. 40-year-old. Just keeps playing, man.
Yep,
he's just a grinder. 6 goals in qualifying in 9 games of qualifying to get Bosnia here. So
he's always been a machine. He's a player that's fun to watch, no matter who you're a fan of.
Yeah, I still like Canada in this one.
I think just because
the
making
home
a
aspect.
sicko.
Yeah,
I like Bosnia a lot. I think Bosnia can surprise a lot of people in this group. But I do think they'll benefit more off the extra 3rd place finisher than, topping their group or finishing
Well, this
second.
group's going to be fascinating in terms of the third place ranking and how many teams get out of that, because it could really cannibalize each other. This group, right?
Definitely.
So, Jorge, any last thoughts on Canada-Bosnia?
It's gonna be a good game.
Sick.
It's gonna be.
Right.
It's gonna be different than the one we saw this morning or today, this afternoon. Bosnia's really gonna go at Canada, and I don't know how Canada's gonna stop the onslaught, but
yeah,
it's gonna be good.
All right. Well, there you go. That is our World Cup date. Love it. All right, Jorge. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we have my interview with Lorenzo Neal next on 1430 ESPN.
I can't believe June is already here, and this AC...
Jorge, I'm going to need to...
amazing.
He said the whole experience was easy. They handled the permits, cleaned everything up, even gave him financing options.
And now, he's cool and stress-free heading into summer.
Exactly where I want.
Here in California, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers, sign up with the code KFIG. Spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards. That's code KFIG. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends June 28th. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo. All right. Let's get to our next interview, who we got a chance. Actually, he stopped by yesterday. We got a chance to pre-record an interview with him. That is Lorenzo Neal. And, boy, it is awesome to see Fresno State royalty show up in the building. So let's get to it. My conversation with Lorenzo Neal, Fresno State legend.
All right, I'm very excited to have our next guest in, who's coming on the program for the first time behind the bench here with Lorenzo Neal, who joins us now, Fresno State legend. Lorenzo, how are we doing?
Legendary, brother. I appreciate it, man. It's awesome to be on the show with you, man. Excited. It's been way too long, baby. You got to get me on more. Let's do this.
I know. Well, we try to connect with the Super Bowl week.
You
got pulled a lot of different directions, but I know that week's crazy for everybody, so... But it's good to have you.
Oh, it's great to be here. It's absolutely great. It's awesome, especially when you get to talk to little dogs. You know what Coach Ince has been doing here. He's tough, physical. I love his mentality. You know, he's that guy, Midwest guy. He's tough. He wants to get a gritty team, guys that play you any place, anywhere. That's just his mentality. So, love what Fresno's doing, man. It's a new year and excited about it.
Yeah, of course, and we'll get into that. But I want to give you a chance to talk about what you got coming up. Big golf tournament that you're hosting, of course. Give the folks details of what's coming up with you guys.
Yeah, actually, I'm very, very excited. Hooked up with the PM Lounge. It's local lounge here in town. It's really amazing. And they say, hey, Lorenzo, what about the fullbacks? I said, let's make fullbacks great again. If you think about back in the day, you had Tom Rathman, Larry Zonka, Moose Johnson, block for Emmitt Smith. You know, you think about all these guys, Corey Schlesinger, Mike Allstott. You know, I can keep going. I mean, Sam Gash, you know, Mike Strum, who's coming in. You know, Larry Centers caught 100 passes one year. Yeah. No one even talked this fullback, Larry Centers. He's coming to town. I mean, Keith Byers, all these guys that I played against, played from a distance. I'm saying, hey, look, let me make the fullbacks great. I even got Huschek talking about maybe coming down. He said, Lo, I'm just going to be too close to camp because he's in Nashville during that week. But, you know, Huschek loves what we're doing. Love that, you know, the fullback position, you know, it's kind of died. So we just want to kind of bring some attention to the fullback position. So we're having the Fullback Classic. We're excited about it. We hooked up with the PM Lounge. They're having the first annual Fullback Classic. It's going to be a great time. You get a free membership for the month by getting a foursome. Also, man, the proceeds are going to the Boys and Girls Club.
Of course.
Great friend of mine, you know, Andre Reed, who's a Hall of Famer. He spent many of his days in the Boys and Girls Club, so he gives back. Boys and Girls Club have done so much for so many people, so we want to give back too.
course, that's always a great opportunity for a lot of folks to help those folks out at the Boys and Girls Club. And of course, you listed all those names, and it's exciting to hear just the excitement you get. You were getting up like ready to go.
Exactly. It's crazy because Eddie George, he won the Heisman from the Ohio State and Fresno State. I mean, you remember you probably were there at that game. Yeah, it was a hard hitting game. They really beat up Eddie, and he talked about how tough Fresno is. So he's going to come in and maybe hopefully you can come out and do an interview with him and talk about how Fresno held him down for a long time in that game. It was a tough game. So he's coming in. Michael Turner, great Michael Turner, Block 4-2, and a lot of great guys are just coming out to support. Jeff Garcia, a personal friend of mine. Jim Everett played quarterback, and Jeff as well. Sean King. So a lot of guys are just, hey, look, let's come out. Let's pay some homage to the fullback position, raise some money for the Boys and Girl Club, and have a great time at the PM Lounge.
And so for the folks, of course, you are hoping to bring in, they get the opportunity to really play golf with these guys, right? That's
absolutely.
That's the whole thing. And the stories that you could get through 18 holes of golf on that day, it could be priceless when it comes to that, right?
I think it will be. Hopefully a lot of people will come out and join this. So, hey, go to pmlounge.com, go sign up, get a foursome, have a great time. Play with some legends of the games, and it's the fullback position. Go learn about the fullback position, folks. Come out.
It's great. And hey, the fullback position, of course, it's certainly there's a couple of great guys in the National Football League. We're hoping it makes a surge, and maybe the way the coach is playing right now with Fresno State, he may be looking for guys who can kind of play that position a little. Big bruisers in the backfield.
Absolutely. Right? But Coach Ince, we know that he's physical. So, hey, if he has a fullback, that guy's going to play him. He'll throw him in there and plug him. That's his type of football player. So, hopefully the fullback position will come back. You see it starting to creep back into the NFL, into some college games. So I just want to keep that thing going.
Right. And, of course, the state of this program, we feel really great about, of course, with the Pac-12 coming in
I know,
year,
right? Right.
Isn't this exciting? Crazy to think. Fresno State now, Pac-12 with the logo there. One could dream back when you're playing days that we had that opportunity. But I'm sure you're thrilled about the place that Fresno State's going.
Absolutely. And, it makes it even that more exciting because now when Fresno State have, those years that you have that great team, you're not limited to those smaller bowls. Now this is going to give Fresno State even a bigger stage to perform, and I think you have the guys, and you have some great athletes in this valley, and I think Coach Ince wants to make sure he continues to recruit in this valley. He finally got a central receiver here, so got to be excited about, getting a young stud that's going to come to Fresno State. But I just want Fresno State to continue to build. It's great that they're in the Pac-12, even though it's different. It's not the same SC and UCLA, but still, to say that Pac-12, to be in that, still got Oregon, still got some great schools, Oregon State and some Washington. So I think it's great. It's a step up. You brought Boise in and Fresno in. So I'm excited. Can't wait to see how they do.
The cream of the crop, right? It's coming in. You want to play the best. You want to beat the best, and that's going to prove it for the Bulldogs moving forward into next year, man.
Where can we listen at? ESPN Fresno, baby.
Coming up. It's starting July. We will be the home. That's going to be exciting for it. I can't wait. Harkening back to like those days that you were playing too, and do you think of the physical style that they played with last year? I remember, of course, one of the linemen last year after Boise, he just kept yelling, run the damn ball, that was the attitude he had. Roland Fullwood is the guy I talked to. That was the lineman who did that. And does it harken back to a time when you were playing a little bit that bruising kind of style football that you guys had back in the day?
And you have to love that. If you can play, people want to play basketball on the grass, you can't win on a consistent basis. You look at Seattle Seahawks last year, a team that won the Super Bowl, able to run the ball. You cannot play basketball on the grass and think you can just throw it around the field. And that November and December, you got to be able to put the big boy pads on and say, let's get downhill. And I love that physical type of football that Coach Ince plays. Jim Sweeney, Pat Hill, you think about it, Tedford. It was like, hey, when we want to get physical, you put them big boy pads on. We had Ron Rivers, Anthony Daigle. I don't know if you know, but Barry Sanders, arguably one of the greatest, if not the greatest running back that played the game. You know what he said? He said probably the second best back in this league is behind me, Ronnie Rivers, because he backed him up for 10 years. He was played in the same backfield as me. So I played with Ron Rivers. I know the type of guys, Jesse Hardwick and Kenny, all the linemen, Zach Ricks, all those guys that we played. We were physical, and that's what Fresno State is. Any place, we might be a little light, a little smaller than those other teams, but we're physical.
Can I blow your mind for a second about Ron Rivers?
Yeah.
So Ron, I grew up in the Bay Area.
Okay.
I went to Heritage High School.
Sure.
And he was one of our security guards back then. But I didn't know who he was. I just kind of knew him as Ron. And Ron and I had a really great relationship. He was a coach of the football team, all that stuff. So I get to Fresno State, and Robbie Rouse goes and breaks the record. And we get an announcement on the stadium that says, hey, legendary running back Ron Rivers is going to congratulate Robbie Rouse. Let's hear what he says. And I see him, and I'm like, oh, my God, that's Ron.
That's good.
That's my guy.
That's Ron. It's came at my school.
I called him right after. I'm like, you never told me you're a legend at Fresno State, the school I was going to. Come on, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Ron and I go way back.
Wow, what a story. I got to admit, Ron's coming to the golf tournament. So Ronnie's playing in it, you know. In the
I've talked to Ronnie a few times. I've gone down to some Ram games. I had a chance to chat with him. It's a great family. Of course, I remember the kids being super young when I was in high school.
Right.
But the Rivers and I, the River family, man, we go back.
Well, that's a great story. I got to definitely tell Ron about it. Tell him they got to hang out with you, and you're a great person, a great man as well. So that's a great story. Great talking over. We'll chop it up over a cold one and talk about you.
It's funny how small the world can be, though, right? With that stuff. But Ron, of course, I know his legend status and what he is as a running back, and of course, back in your days. Can you give me a story a little bit back in those days? What's one thing that stood out to you about those offensive guys, or a moment that you always are going to think back on?
Well, I think when you think about where we came in our time, that era. We had Trent Dilfer, had Titus Winans went to the pros, Malcolm Seaburn went to the pros. We had 4 receivers. Charlie Jones went to the pros. Think about in that 4 years, we had 5 receivers. Lee went to the pros. We had Ron Rivers, Anthony Daigle, and myself, Aaron Craver. Think about, we had 5 backs in that era.
Crazy.
Go to the pro. So Fresno State, everyone thinks, just know what they're just school no.
Right.
If you look at Fresno State, the guys that they put out, and safeties, the corners, to skill positions, it's been pretty amazing. I just remember those tough dog days. Coach Jim Sweeney, the double days, him up on the with the bullhorn, and I remember there was a guy on the team, and he the guy was having a little problems. He's on scholarship. Coach Sweeney said, "Hey, Kabir, you lied and you're lying, a thief. You lied and you told us you could play football. You're a thief because you stole a scholarship." I'm telling you, it was brutal. I mean, Coach,
he can get you. He can cut.
Jim Sweeney kids could not handle. I'm talking about, Ron Rivers, great Ron Rivers.
Yeah.
We're in a meeting on Saturday, so you're quiet, you're eating dinner, and you're getting ready to play the game. So Coach wanted you to focus. And someone said a little joke, and someone laughed. Coach Sweeney had his big cowboy ring on, and the little thud right on his head. Swole up, had to put ice on his head before. I mean, it was things that go on back in the day. I mean, it could have never happened now, but you loved him. You loved the guy. He was trying to push you. He would give his shirt off the back for you. Coach Sweeney was a great man, a great person.
Yeah.
I love that guy. So I got a lot of great stories. Probably can't tell them all.
Well, you can probably hear him at the golf tournament, of course.
Absolutely. X-rated, but good.
We're at the motto, we're at the PG-13 version right now.
Yes, we got to say PG-13, exactly.
Have you gotten a chance to meet some of the guys on this team?
Last year, Coach Ince was one of the first things he did is he called me in his office and he said, "Hey, I wanted you to come talk to the team and talk to the guys." And it was rewarding to be able to look at those guys and say, I sat in the same seats as you said, went on that same field, a little different time.
Yeah.
But football's still the same. There's only one ball, only one person get at a time.
Mm-hmm.
On defense, it's simple: see ball, get ball. And it's those moments that you're looking at these young men and you see some of these kids come from where they were at. They were their best at their school, all best running back, best, and now you come and everyone's the best.
Right.
And how do you separate yourself? And I tell them, I said, the will to win means nothing without the will to prepare. Some of you are going to sit here and some of you are going to say, "Hey, look, God, I wish I did that. I wish they would give me a chance." Working will, wishing won't. It doesn't change from football to the workforce. You have to have desire, and that's what, when you're playing on this Fresno State team or wherever college you go to, if you don't have that will and that burning desire, someone's going to take your position. So it's always going to be that way, and that's what I love, being able to talk to these young men and see the excitement and see the zeal and the burn that they have.
Right.
And you're like, man, that guy might have something. And you see it. You see those little twinkles in certain guys. You might see the guy like, I don't know.
Right.
But only time will tell.
And what's great, too, about this roster right now, a lot of loyalty to this roster, too. Not many guys moved out of this roster from last year.
Yeah.
With the whole transfer I couldn't imagine what life would be like if they had that whole thing going on in college ball. And I know everybody hates
money.
it.
No,
all that stuff.
It's tough. And if you don't have – this is we're in that the Wild Wild West where kids can go and coach into, he's a tough guy. He's fair.
Right.
But he's going to be on you. And a lot of kids, they don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
They run from it. So they bounce around all these different schools, and you see these kids bounce around. It's like, is it really worth it?
Right.
And you got to have, and I tell kids and tell people, if the wind to move you, I'd hate to see you in a storm. So sometimes you got to just sit there. You got to sit there and say, I'm going to grind.
Yeah.
I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to fight because I believe in this. And that's what's great. The loyalty that these young men have shown this program, the Fresno State.
Right.
It's because of the coach that's leading.
I tell you, some of the guys I talk to, they seek that out, and so I think they got the right guys in that roster because they seek out that tough love. They don't think they got. Sometimes they were like, "You coach me harder, man.
Coach me.
Yeah,
accountability.
Yeah,
hold me to it.
They're craving it.
Yes,
and it's and you can see the product moving in the right direction, of course. And I think I'm very excited, of course, about this season. Of course, USC Week 1, huh?
Oh. Come on,
right?
Come on, Coach. I saw Marcus Allen last week. I was down at Andre Reed's tournament. I was like, oh, come on, you want some? You want a little bit? He's like, come on, though, you know better, Marcus.
Well, you got him when you played, right?
Yeah, absolutely, MVP baby. I took SC for a ride. Let's go, let's go. So we can get them, and they had them a couple years ago. I mean, Fresno's always played them close. We beat them, but the dogs. It's time for the dogs to get another class to beat them. It's time.
We should have had Hainer got a stinger in that game last time.
Yes.
You felt like if it goes different.
Yes.
And also
Reggie Bush. I think he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, I think so. A little bit. If we had, it was a little fuzzy back there, right? They didn't have the HD all the way.
Right. Exactly.
But I know Ence, of course, he used to coach at SCU that one year, so maybe there's a little skin in the game for him with that too. There's a lot of good connective tissue between Fresno State and SC.
Yeah, there really is, and there always will be. The Valley and SC is always going to have some connections from kids going there.
Well, even kids who are on this roster used to root for SC back in the day. Right?
No question, you did. You're a great school. I remember growing up watching and seeing some of these guys, my heroes play, Charles White and those guys play, and you're like, man, that's SC. And you grow up and watching, and it's like, hey, it has a different, it's a little mystique, Southern California. But you know what? I always grew up watching those dogs too. KMPH, Town 26, ESP, watching Fresno, the great Kelly Skipper, legend here. You know who I'm talking about? Freaking Jim Sweeney's son, Kevin Sweeney. I mean, watching that guy throw the long ball and watching Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker, watching those guys and even watching Rod Higgins playing basketball, and Abel G's. And so I was a local guy. So I'm like watching these guys play,
legends.
So watching these guys play. So it was always great to watch Fresno State, and I've always been a fan, and I'm glad that I got to get to live my child dream out.
You're a fan, of course, of this program as you are, and I want to ask, just because of the stakes of what this season can be, man, winning a Pac-12 championship could be a ticket to a playoff opportunity, right? How crazy does this town get if we're in a college football playoff game?
Well, the thing about it is, you're in a conference now that if you win out, you will for sure earn that right.
Right.
So if that were to happen, this place would be unreal. This place would rock. I'm telling you, there's a lot of Bulldog fans. There's a lot of Red Waves. You'll see the grandpas and grandmas and great-great-grandmas coming out in their canes because they still have a lot of Fresno pride and a lot of tradition. It would be unbelievable for this team, this crowd, to go undefeated and to be playing in that Sweet 16. That'd be legendary.
Be fantastic. I mean, I'm already dreaming. Who says?
Right.
Let's make it happen. 1 week at a time, man. Lorenzo, I appreciate you taking the time. Once again, how can people find where they can sign up for that golf tournament you got coming up in the end of June?
Yeah, absolutely. Just go to the pmlounge.com, go to the website, check it out. It's going to be a great time. Like I said, the proceeds are going to go to Boys and Girls Club. Come out. It's going to be unbelievable. June 26th and June 27th. It's going to be at the Dragonfly. Come out. A lot of friends, a lot of great legends from Eddie George, Jeff Garcia. All these great players are going to come out and join us. Don't meet me there, but beat me there. Thanks for everyone's support.
All right, Lenzo, I appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks
Dogs!
Go Dogs! Go Dogs! All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Behind the Bench after this.
The Red, White, and Blue Sale, now at Fashion Furniture. Celebrate 250 years of independence and save up to 25% store-wide on beautiful furniture from the best brands for every room in your home. Plus, 0% financing for 36 months is available. For 66 years, families have trusted Fashion Furniture for quality, selection, value, and service. Shop the Red, White, and Blue Sale, now at Fashion Furniture, across from River Park.
It's Phil Bonatti telling you DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Fresno, California. The whole world is watching one tournament right now. Group stage chaos, knockout drama, stoppage time, heartbreak. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in California, so whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in California, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with the code KFIG, spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards. That's code KFIG. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends June 28th. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo.
Take a break from the usual and enjoy a classic Fresno night out at Richard's Prime Rib and Seafood. From hand-cut steaks and legendary prime rib to fresh seafood, cocktails, and a warm classic steakhouse atmosphere, Richard's has been serving unforgettable dinners for generations. Whether it is date night, dinner with friends, or a celebration worth doing right, Richard's is the perfect place to slow down, relax, and enjoy an incredible meal. Come experience a Fresno tradition at Richard's Prime Rib and Seafood.
Head to Grease Monkey, where we help you get in, get out, and get going. From full-service oil changes and brakes to preventative maintenance, our certified technicians keep your vehicle running at its best. Need tires or alignments? Visit our Millburn location. Need Star Smog service? Stop by our North Blackstone location across the street from Hobby Lobby. And right now, mention this ad and receive $15 off your next oil change service and $10 off your smog. Fast service, trusted technicians, quality care for your vehicle. Grease Monkey Fresno, done fast, done right.
Get your business noticed and stand out from the crowd by visiting MegaPrints. Working with the Valley's most prestigious and high-profile businesses since 1998, we print and install custom-designed signs for businesses of all types and sizes. From yard signs to banners to wallpaper and fleet graphics, MegaPrints has the state-of-the-art capability to turn the signage you've dreamed of into a reality. Visit megaprints.com today to see our work and what we can do for your business.
Citizens Business Bank is a proud sponsor of the Fresno State Bulldogs. Hi, I'm Susan Woosner, Senior Vice President and Manager of Citizens Business Bank in Fresno. We proudly support California's thriving small to medium-sized businesses. Our relationship-based approach and straightforward business model set us apart in the financial services industry. We are a banking partner that understands your industry and your company. Whether you're expanding operations or planning for the future, Citizens Business Bank is here to help ensure your banking experience is smooth, convenient, and aligned with your success. My team strives to build long-term banking relationships by getting to personally know you and your business, and then providing you with a wide array of powerful solutions customized to your unique financial needs. Visit cbbank.com to learn how Citizens Business Bank can help contribute to your success. That's cbbank.com. Citizens Business Bank, N.A., Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
All right, welcome back to Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno. Big thank you to Lorenzo Neal for joining me in the last segment. Hey, a reminder, folks, fight fans, mark your calendars. This Sunday, June 14th, the UFC Fight Night viewing party starts at 4 p.m. at Chichancy Gold Resort and Casino. Catch every second of the live pay-per-view on the big screen as Topuria takes on Gaethje for the World Lightweight Championship, plus Pereira versus Gane for the interim heavyweight title. Don't miss a stacked fight card, championship action, and every knockout moment at Chichancy Gold Resort and Casino, your Fight Night headquarters. So check that out, of course, and be sure to stop on by. We are wrapping up hour number 2. We got a third hour still to go. Daniel has taken off, so he is gone for the rest of the show. We still have Jorge, though. Jorge, you think we can land this plane? I'm trying not to show any sort of weakness here, but I'm going to be straight up honest with people. I was at a golf tournament this morning, and I literally got back maybe 30 minutes ago, or 30 minutes before the show. So I am trying to not show my mental breakdown of having a show today because I am a little exhausted, a little sunbaked, and I'm sure I feel a little bit exhausted at the moment. But Jorge, hopefully I'm not losing the energy of the show right now.
Well, I think we should. Sounds all right to me. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like we should be fine.
We should be all right. Can we talk about that Giants game yesterday more?
Yeah.
Can we just talk about how ridiculous that was? Like, I don't even think we've done a full breakdown on what that was. And what does it mean moving forward, right, for this Giants team? Because I know one game can't define like what your future is as a Giants team, and one game can't, change the tide per se. Maybe it can. I don't know. I surely don't feel like this team is going to go and get on a run here to make the playoffs. It just does not feel like a realistic shot at the moment because of how good the national. It's not how bad the Giants are. If they were in the American League, I'd certainly give them a shot. But it's just not in the cards of how bad or how good the National League is. So, but just the idea of what they did in their at-bats and they put it together, it tells me, Jorge, that there is true offense coming, and an offense that we remember at the beginning of this year, Jorge, about a month in, this offense stunk. This offense was putrid. This offense couldn't do nothing. Couldn't put together good at-bats. They were throwing perfect balls down the middle because no team felt like they had teeth. And now, I think finally, the Giants are finding barrels here and hitting homers and making teams pay a little bit. Is that elevating to wins and losses? I don't think quite there yet, because on the flip side, the pitching has been much wanting at the moment with how bad the bullpen has been. But outside of how terrible the bullpen has been all throughout, I am encouraged that the Giants' offense has moved in a direction that's at least respectable, if not downright on fire at the moment when it comes to their approach. And yesterday, their approach was fantastic. Long counts, working from down 0-2. I rewatched the ending, and I couldn't count how many 0-2 counts they got back and ended up getting on base from 0-2 counts. It was remarkable. I did not believe what I was seeing. But what stood out most for you from that comeback yesterday?
I think that when they started hitting and they started getting on base, it felt like there was a difference, like a different atmosphere, like a vibe almost, where they were like, all right, well, we're hitting, we're scoring, like let's keep scoring,
right?
This ain't over, that, because other games you feel like, oh, we have the lead, we're gonna win this game,
yeah.
And it's gone.
And it's
like that.
It was the eighth inning was so important, right? Because you weren't getting hits either. You were like, okay, we had the Chapman homer, right? Like, let's break it down, right? It was 9-1, and so it was Chapman homer, right? To Devers homer, right? 9-3, and you're sitting there like, okay, cool, got him a couple times, right? And that's fine. It's not going to break the bank in anything, or however you're going to feel how this game's going to go. But then you get a Jung-Hoo Lee walk. You get a Bryce Eldridge walk. I think Jung-Hoo Lee stole second in that sequence too. So they ended up walking.
Yes, they did.
You get a Susac double that scored Jung-Hoo Lee to make it 9-4. And then you have second and third. And this, to me, was the most important aspect of the game outside of the Grand Slam, of course. It's the fact that the Giants, with Drew Gilbert up, and I think Buddy Kennedy, I think his name is, or whatever his name is, he's a new guy on the roster. Kennedy is his last name. Gilbert, ground out to the right side on the first base side. Only play is to get the guy at first, get a Gilbert out. Productive out. Scored a run. Right? Because in a situation where the Giants had second and third and nobody out, we're talking about a pop-up. We're talking about a strikeout in that situation, right? But a productive out allows a run to score to make it 9-5. Okay, you got a runner at third with one out, right? Suddenly a pitch goes awry and allows a runner to score from third, and the Giants are finding ways to score in unusual fashion, but they take it, and it's 9-6 at that moment, right? And to me, those two runs are so critical to capitalize on having runners in scoring position with less than one out, right? Because if you're a good team, you're supposed to capitalize, and that's supposed to be 2 runs every time, right? At least a base hit in some form or fashion. So to me, that whole sequence, that whole 8th inning, I know the 9th inning got off the rails for the Nationals. I don't believe they even recorded it out in the entire inning. And those were hard-hit baseballs, and the Giants were getting every part of it. But to me, Jorge, the 8th inning, those 2 runs that scored, the Gilbert ground-out RBI into the wild pitch that scored a run, those were the 2 most important runs for me last night in the Giants' win. Do you agree with me, or do you feel like obviously the Grand Slam was the most important, but do you have another run that you felt like was a very impactful one?
I agree with you. I think that made a change, definitely, to where we were close enough that we could catch them. Then they came in and they scored one more, the home run, but we weren't that far away either.
Right.
So that gave the entire team hope of coming back.
Certainly. Of course, they gave up the run at the top. That home run, not ideal, but just back again. Move the table, move the train, keep things moving. Get guys on base, take what is given to you. I think the Giants have to bottle up those 2 innings and say that is how you create an offense approach. That's how you dream the offense looks on this team. That's what I envisioned, and then they didn't play like it for 2 months. Now, are they going to make it in the playoffs? I don't think so, but, play damn good baseball. See what happens in 2 months. Maybe we'll have a different conversation in August, but that's the approach they got to bottle up moving forward, and if they have any hope of making any sort of part of this season relevant. So, all right, let's take a break. We're up against it. We'll be right back with more Behind the Bench on 1430 ESPN.
The Donald P. Dick Super Saver Program is membership for your home's heating and air conditioning. A certified HVAC specialist will service your system at no additional charge. They'll make sure to keep everything running right, including filter replacement, refrigerant checks, airflow checks, and electrical inspections. Improved efficiency prevents breakdowns and saves you money. Call 255-1644 for Donald P. Dick AC and Solar in Fresno.
From breezy linen to performance polos, the Patrick James Summer Collection defines cool, effortless style. It's where classic West Coast spirit meets modern refinement. Discover timeless looks from brands like Faraday, Johnny O, Martin Dingman, alongside staples from Tommy Bahama, Robert Graham, and our signature Patrick James line. Made for the man who values quality, confidence, and the art of dressing well. Patrick James, California's sophistication. On Shaw, inside Fresno's Fig Garden Village.
This Father's Day, celebrate the golfing dad in your life with something special from Roger Dunn Golf Shops. Whether it's new clubs, golf gear, apparel, or the perfect gift cards. And sometimes it's not just about the gifts. It's about the memories, the time spent with Dad. Walking through Roger Dunn, trying out putters.
When I was little, my dad used to take us to Roger Dunn all the time. It was the highlight of my childhood memories to go golf on the little putting green. So much fun.
And remember, dads are number one at Roger Dunn.
Fresno summers don't mess around. For 56 years, Donald P. Dick has been Fresno's family-owned and trusted choice for home comfort and solar power. Beat the heat and save money today by joining the Donald P. Dick Super Saver Program. You'll get 15% off any repairs, and membership puts you in front of the line with priority service. Call Donald P. Dick at 255-1644 and ask about the Super Saver Program. 255-1644.
Fight fans, mark your calendars Sunday, June 14th
The UFC Fight Night viewing party starts at 4 p.m. at Chuck Chansey Gold Resort and Casino. Catch every second of the live pay-per-view on the big screens as Taporia takes on Gaethje for the World Lightweight Championship, plus Pereira versus Gane for the interim heavyweight title. Don't miss a stacked fight card, championship action, and every knockout moment. Live at Chuck Chansey Gold Resort and Casino, your Fight Night headquarters.
Precision Civil Engineering is
your home of the San Francisco 49ers, 1430 ESPN, the Valley's local sports leader, KFIG Fresno. Sports leader, KFIG Fresno.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, Lightning star Nikita Kucherov won the Hart Trophy as the NHL's MVP. He had 130 points this season, including 104 in a 50-game span. He led the NHL with 1.71 points per game. We are moments away from opening face-off of a pivotal Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Golden Knights and Hurricanes on ABC. Series is 2-2 and has a combined 33 goals scored so far by the teams. The largest World Cup in history kicked off today with Mexico's 2-0 victory over South Africa. According to megastar center Victor Wembanyama, the Spurs' belief in themselves not shaken despite what happened last night when they blew a 29-point lead. Game 4 NBA Finals wound up losing by 1 to the Knicks. They find themselves down 3-1, and San Antonio's not bouncing back from that, believes ESPN's Kendrick Perkins.
When you look at what they went through and the mentality, it's going to be a long ride back to San Antonio, and then nobody want to watch film on that. It's going to be hard for them to bounce back, knowing that they actually not.
On the Pirates' bottom 4. On ESPN, Mariners and Orioles knotted up at 1, bottom of the 3rd inning. The Tigers
Fresno. It is a treat to be on ESPN Fresno.
This is your home for all things sports. Hosted by Phil Bonatti, breaking it down, calling it like it is, and taking you behind the game. This is Behind the Bench on ESPN Fresno.
That is right. Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno. Hour number 3 of our program. And a reminder, we're at Fashion Furniture on this Thursday. And a reminder, they're having their 250-year red, white, and blue sale for America 250. Save 25% on the whole store. That's right. On select items. Of course, Stressless 5-star. You get $500 off on the Stressless wing in all sizes, all base options, including Paloma and Valero leather only. Stressless, admirable in all sizes, all available base options in Paloma leather or Paloma special pricing as well. All Oslo, Fiona, or Flora, sofas, love seat sectionals, Paloma Valero leathers available at Paloma special pricing. You can get other financing as well with 12 months deferred interest on a minimum purchase of $19.99. And 18 months deferred interest on minimum purchase of $29.99, and also 24 months of deferred interest, minimum purchase of $49.99. So come on and get all the savings you can for the America 250. Clockwork. It happened like last week when we did this. Oh, hey, we're back. We're back. All right. Never mind. It figured itself out. So, just monitor. I'm monitoring the situation on our live stream. As you know, I'm currently trying to run the live stream at the moment while airing this show. So, a million things that I'm doing, but that's fine. That's showbiz. Okay. Where are we at? Let's talk NBA Finals again, because I had so many more thoughts, Jorge, on this Finals. And I'm trying to ask the question, what the hell happened last night, right? And I think everyone has had their takes. We've seen a lot of people talk about what happened last night. To me, the excuse that stands out that I've heard a lot is the Spurs are a young team, this is what young teams do, blah, 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 all that stuff. I don't buy that quite as much. I'm not letting them off the hook for what they've done at the end game situation. And the other end game situation where De'Aaron Fox tries to go up for a layup and isn't supposed to go for that layup, and it cost the Spurs a chance because that turned the ball over to